Peace, my people. What's good? Thank you for tuning in to Yo Spiritual HG podcast with your girl, me, SB. Thank you for tuning in to episode 4 of your Spiritual HG podcast. Today, y'all, I want to talk about signs, synchronicities, and confirmation real quick. So on March 4th through the 9th of this year, I was on a retreat in the Tennessee mountains. I was amongst some of the dopest high vibrational beings that I have ever come into contact with in the 3D or physical, right? So some of them I've met over the past 3 years via my spiritual mentors self-mastery accelerator program, and some I met for the first time at the retreat. When I say the energy was crazy that whole entire time, the energy was crazy. So while we were there were a lot of synchronicities and confirmations that happened in those 3 days for everybody. But there were a couple that stood out most for me personally. One morning, I was writing in my journal before, most of everybody woke up. And I specifically wrote a message to my ancestors. No sooner had I closed my journal, I looked to the right over my shoulder, and the North Carolina state bird, the red cardinal, had planted itself on a branch. I know birds can travel, I get it, but I don't believe in coincidences. To me, that was confirmation. It was definitely confirmation. And that same bird stayed there for 3 hours because one of the other attendees had mentioned seeing it. And even after they mentioned it, I went back outside and that bird was still in the same spot. Crazy, right? In the spiritual world, the cardinal is known to be that of a spiritual messenger. It can also represent spirits of our ancestors, just giving us a message of safety, love, and remembrance. Oh, okay. Confirmation. Another sign I had that I wanted to share on that same morning, I believe, I was helping to get breakfast started. I was on egg duty, and as I was cracking the eggs, I cracked a double yolked egg. Again, I knew it was something that was possible, but I never had it happen for me. So I asked Teach what it could have symbolized, and in so many words, he pretty much said that it could signify some type of rebirth. And if you're into numerology and things, the number 2 has a certain significance as well. But I won't go into that on this episode. But I did go to Google, and upon that quick Google search and what would resonate based on where I am or where I was during that particular time, spiritually and mentally, it stated that good luck is on the way or the start of something new. Either way, I'll take it. Fast forward to now, when I tell you everything that there has, when I tell you everything that has certainly been a shift in my consciousness since that trip. The first 2 weeks or so, my energy was so off. I couldn't shake the feeling. Normally I can, but I just couldn't shake it. I thought I was losing my mind. I really did. But now, since I've been on my journey consciously, which has been about 4 years, whenever I feel or felt like that, it's probably because I'm going through an ascension process. And so I remembered this time around that I was probably going through an ascension. No sooner had I remembered and it started to make sense, I've been okay ever since. I'm in a new cycle. right now. I'm in a creative cycle, and I love it here. I've always been a creative person, but I've always hid my hand, hid my talents, never spoke, all that jazz. Like I'm very creative. Um, but here lately, in listening to the last 3 episodes, I've been in more of a do type of state. So I've been doing more, and I can tell the difference from when I wasn't doing to now doing. I mean, we're all creative beings, right? But I don't want to go off on that tangent. I'll come back to that in the next episode. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up for now. But before I do, please make sure you're following all of our socials for updates and motivation everywhere at Your Spiritual HG. Also, I do believe there are still spots available for the second Soul Glow retreat that's happening in September. So if you're trying to get your life, if you're trying to elevate, or even if you're just trying to find your soul tribe, go to www.soulglowretreat.com before all the rooms are sold out. May I insist that you really want to be a part of this magical experience. Until next time, gods and goddesses, peace.